Chat. I feel validated. I feel very validated. So as you guys know, a few videos ago, we talked about Kevin Durant, as we've been doing every other day. And I mentioned to you that I'm very confident that something's going to happen before the draft gets here, right? That's just some stuff that I've heard personally. Some people will say like, well, you don't hear anything, Clint. I do. I actually do. And it's not one of those heard it from this person who heard it from this person who heard it from this person type deals, okay? But I usually don't put anything out there. I try to keep the confidentiality, but also a lot of things have been coming out lately, so I feel super confident just like blurting it out. I mean, why not? So I feel really confident. I already said it before, but I feel really confident that something's going to happen before the draft even starts. With that being said, though, I want to show something that made me feel even more confident in that. But before we look at that, this right here, I just want you guys to know this. Don't believe this, okay? So this is a picture, and it says "What the F?" and it's the Spurs, Kevin Durant, 35, and you're probably thinking, "Oh man, that's crazy! It already happened." Relax, okay? These are, as you can see here, these are some old KD shoes. If you guys recall, back in 2016, the Spurs were super close to getting Kevin Durant, and this was one of our pitches. So yeah, don't buy into this, okay? Do not buy into this. But yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that, but obviously he ended up going to the Warriors, but we were super close at that point of getting him. And this is an article from 2016 actually discussing that the Spurs really are a threat to sign Kevin Durant. We were one of the top at the list at that point. But yeah, so anyways, you legit get, yes. Anyways, so moving on. Bill Simmons. Big shout out to Bill Simmons. So it sounds like he heard some rumblings, right? And he said, I wouldn't be surprised if KD to the Spurs is done already and they just haven't announced it. Basically, they've agreed on specifics, just announced it on the week of the draft. This goes back to the Giannis thing. I think they trade for KD because it just costs less. They'll be able to be real competitive and maybe go on a couple of rounds in the playoffs. But they're also going to keep the number 2 pick and do it that way, which is my prediction. So this is just based on some things that he heard. He's hearing rumblings. It's all over the place at this point, right? Like people kind of got a idea that the Spurs are just going to go ahead and tie the knot, so to speak, with Kevin Durant. So this is how I feel about it, okay? So if you want to know what the specifics are, what we've heard thus far, okay? What we've heard thus far is possibly Devin Vassell, the number 14th pick, and Harrison Barnes. Also heard some stuff that it could be KJ instead of Harrison Barnes. I don't know about that. I have no idea. Preferably, we would want to keep it Harrison Barnes, and then maybe you can move KJ and try to move up to the draft. I don't know if that actually happened. I don't know if that actually happened. That's nothing that I heard or anything. It's just that I'm hoping that you could do it that way. But as it stands right now, that's what it's looking like. And I told you guys, I feel like this is one of the few ways you can actually have your cake and eat it too, because I didn't think it was possible. But if you trade away the 14th pick, you get Kevin Durant. Devin Vassell leaves, which is sad. That would really suck. But at the same time, I understand it, right? And then Harrison Barnes possibly leaving. That's just a fine trade to me. He wasn't going to stay here long anyways, if that's going to be the case, if the Spurs go in that direction. But with that being said, I think that that's kind of a sweet deal, right? Because you will be able to have a pretty competitive team right now. Hopefully Kevin Durant is comfortable with signing an extension at the end of this contract, right? Maybe a few years, not something crazy. And you can be pretty competitive for a good chunk of time while developing Dylan Harper, who's going to come in right off the bat and be really good. Like I have a lot of confidence that day one, he is going to be really good. So man, the Spurs could be a competitive team, someone to take a look at, and someone that's going to be genuinely competing once you get to the playoffs. And not only that, you still keep all your picks for the future. I've heard some things, which I don't know how true it is, right? I've just been seeing it circulating a little bit that it could be another pick in the future involved in it. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope that we can just fleece away. You said fleece indeed. Fleece indeed, my friend. And a lot of Suns fans, hold on, I didn't actually bring this up, but hold on. Let me show you. A lot Spurs fans, not Spurs fans, Suns fans are kind of crashing out. I'm not going to lie to you. They're kind of crashing out. Hold on. I liked one thing that was posted. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here we go. I don't know who is Brandon. Oh, he's a YouTuber. Okay, so he's a Suns YouTuber. 6 milli YouTube subs. Good God. 456,000 followers. So this is, I guess he represents the Suns fans, right? He says Phoenix needs to understand San Antonio won't give up Castle or second pick. Duh, yeah. They're gonna try and give Vassell and 14, and that's where the Suns gotta hang up and look elsewhere. Don't settle. I promise there's a better offer out there for Kate. You promised that, huh? Front office just has to be competent for once. From what we heard, okay, and this has gone around as well, is that the asking price has went down because they've tried elsewhere, right? Kevin Durant does not want to be there. They're going to have to trade him. They've looked around. I think this is just my take on it. I think that Luka has completely shifted the landscape of the NBA. The Luka deal and the Fox deal has really shifted things, and also some of the rules that the NBA has set forward as well, or just trying to make sure that teams actually build these teams. It makes it very difficult for you to just stockpile on a bunch of superstars, right? Like, you have to be very smart with how you go about things. And with this in particular, yeah, I don't know if there's a better deal for KD. Like, I think that this is kind of wishful thinking at this point, right? I do want to hear what you guys say about that, but yeah. So anyways, I guess that's all. That's all I really wanted to say, is that Bill Simmons have been hearing some things. It sounds like some rumblings. He feels like it's already, if he had to put his money on it, he feels like it's already done. The Spurs are just waiting to announce it, which I'll tell you, I feel very confident that KD's going to be in a Spurs jersey. It would have to be some really great offer that Phoenix gets in order for it to not happen. Now, as far as the specifics, the Spurs have they have fleeced before. They have fleeced like we never seen fleecing in the past, right? So maybe possibly you could hold on to Vassell, right, and make that happen. Like KJ, Harrison Barnes, and 14, that would be insane. I don't think the Suns can't let that happen. I would agree with Brandon here. They can't let that happen. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm super excited though. Super excited. And any more news come up, you know, we'll talk about it. But thus far, that's the latest, right? That's the latest.